Hi you guys, welcome to today's lesson about classifying triangles by angles and sides. A little warm up, we're going to classify each angle as obtuse, right, or acute. Now I know these angle measures, or these angles don't have measures in them, and we should look for measures, but I'll help us out here. We'll say that that's 130 degrees, that's 60 degrees, so we know that that is obtuse, this is acute, and this is right. And there. Remember, obtuse is greater than 90 and less than 180. Acute is greater than 0 and less than 90. And then right is obviously 90 degrees, because that'll become important later when we start classifying triangles by their angle measures. Alright, here's the setup for the classifications by angles and then by sides. So acute angles are less than 90 degrees. There they are, all nice set up for you. Obtuse, one angle is greater than 90 degrees in a triangle, and then a triangle that is right has one angle that is 90 degrees. We also have equiangular, which is all the angles are 60 degrees. This is a special situation because all the angles are also acute. So it's kind of a double name for that one. And then by sides, we've got scalene, which means no congruent sides, isosceles, which means at least two congruent sides, and then equilateral is all sides are congruent. Alright, how do we name the triangles? Well, we name the triangle, we classify the triangles by angles first and then by sides, and there's a nice little way to remember it. A is for angles, which comes first in the alphabet, and then S for sides, which comes obviously after A in there. So we're going to look at some triangles here first, and it's going to say classify the triangle by its sides. So I see on this one all three sides are congruent. Side lengths are 4. Even if you want to, you can help yourself mark them congruent. We know that that is equilateral. And then we've got two sides here congruent, which we're going to call isosceles. And then no sides are congruent, which we refer to as scalene. Now, classify the triangle by its angle measures. We look at 65, 55, and 60. None of them are 90. None of them are greater than 90. So these are acute angles, so it's an acute triangle. This has the right angle mark in it, so we call it a right triangle. And this has an obtuse angle in it, so we call it an obtuse triangle. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put those two together. You're going to classify the triangle by angles and its sides. So I look at the angle first. It's got a right angle in it, so right. And then none of the sides are congruent, so right, scalene. I look at this one here. We've got to remember from our triangles that we've already learned, the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 70 plus 70 is 140, which leaves me with 40 left over there. None of those angles are greater than 90 or 90, so it's acute. And I've got two sides congruent, so we call that acute isosceles. And this one has no markings as far as the measurements are concerned, but it does have tick marks, so three sides are congruent, which also brings us to three angles congruent, which is by angles, equiangular, and equilateral. This can also be known as acute because my angle measures are all less than 90 degrees, which is acute. Alright, so again, we classified by angles first, then by sides, and then you might be asked to classify by angles and sides. So for here, we're going to, first of all, take away all those marks. We're going to classify or match the triangle description with the most specific name. So look at my side lengths, 6, 7, and 8. That is scalene. Side lengths 9, 10, and 9, up 2 together there, so that's isosceles. I can do that too, which is A. Angle measures, now I got to pay attention and read, always important. 90 degrees, there's a right in there, so that's D. 13, 27, 140 for the angle measures again, so that's obtuse. That's B. And then just to make sure we're reading, even though there's one option left, 59, 60, 61, those are all less than 90, so those are acute. Now some other options you're going to be looking to do as far as the triangles are concerned, it's going to say identify which side is opposite each angle. So if I'm looking at angle Y, the side opposite angle Y, here's angle Y right here, and if I draw to the opposite side, remember naming side is 2 letters for this, so it's side XZ. If I look at angle X, the side opposite angle X is side YZ, and then I'll take those marks away and look at angle Z. Side opposite angle Z is side XY. Now that is one way to do it. Another nice way to do it is this. Without even necessarily looking at the sides, I know my letters are X, Y, and Z. Well, if I'm looking for angle Y, it's nice. What letters are missing from X, Y, and Z? Oh, that's right, X and Z. So if I'm talking about angle Y, what side is across from it, or what letters are missing? XZ. What side is across from angle X? Oh, I'm missing the letters YZ, that's the side. And then I'm looking at angle Z, what side is across from it? Side XY. So let's try that on this one here. So angle N, without even looking, I know it's OM, those are the letters that are missing. Angle O, that's NM. And then angle M, the 2 letters missing are ON. And remember, if you put ON or NO, it's still the same thing. It's still the same side. So we'll try angle D, goes with CE. Angle E goes with CD. And angle C goes with ED. Oops. ED. You can also go the other way and go, hey, what's angles across from side XZ? Again, what letter's missing? I've got X and Z covered. What letter's missing? Letter Y. So here's side XZ. What angle's across from it? Angle Y. So you can work backward and forward between these two. Again, you're just looking for which letters are missing when they either ask you for a side or for an angle measure across. Not angle measure, across from what side or what angle. So again, here's a little review. Classification by angles: acute, obtuse, right or equiangular, and then by sides: scalene, isosceles, which is at least 2 congruent sides, and equilateral, though we usually save the isosceles for 2 congruent sides.